Yeah. 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 Memories. Memories. Yeah. Memories. Memories.
Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. 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 I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. 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 I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall.
Sitting in a 4v3.
Everton East Bolts trying to find what angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a roll. See White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. all of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
Beast Mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Santi's getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick under Leaky. You're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Boom! Manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Lana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the ace? They get the ace. There are only 2 more teams left here in the NAPC Open tier. The cream has risen to the top here. And we're going to be crowning ourselves a champion tonight. It's the BSC Bobcats taking on Tanuki. Welcome everyone back to CGL. We are wrapping up our season 14 here tonight. My name is Dextron. That is 2 Tryhard Ray. Man, like I said, these 2 teams have been consistently some of the best teams all season long in this NAPC Open tier. It's not a shock that we're seeing them here.
I believe these are the number 1 and number 2 overall seeds for the playoffs. Tanuki knocking out Nightmare Rotation 2 days ago on stream in a dominating 3-0 fashion. We interviewed them afterwards, and they were very prepared for what the Nightmare Rotation squad likes to do with all their silliness, but it's going to be a big step up to do with the Bobcats, but they feel like they're ready, and I can't wait to see what Tanuki's able to bring to the Bobcats.
Yeah, Tanuki, that was actually a revenge match there for them in their lower bracket final. Nightmare Rotation was actually the one sending them down to the lower bracket. But, Ray, I mean, while the season action might be ending here tonight, there is still some more action to come. Only next month. It's everyone's favorite time of the year. Yes, that is right. GOATS is back for both console, PC, and you see the regions there, NA, UU, and we're also adding South America here. This is going to be a really, really fun time, and we see so many people come out for this every year, Ray.
Yeah, it's our most popular. It's so popular, we have to run it every single off season. And we've had Overwatch League players come and enter this because they just love the nostalgia. I know we're running a 6v6, trial right now, but this is true GOATS era 6v6, and we do it twice a year. Extremely popular. As we mentioned, we're adding South America in this year. Prize pool $22.50, which is going to be awesome. And it's just a great time to experience the nostalgia of GOATS. Signups are open, as it says, and that's our Discord to join.
Yeah, and like I said, I always say when we come back to GOATS, it's time for you 6v sickos to come back out and enjoy what is by far everyone's favorite mode here. But Ray, one other thing that has been going on today is a lot of other grand finals have been played over on the EU side. Well, we had 2 dominant series crowning 2 dominant champions, 09, 07, and the God Stack, both sweeping their opponents here.
Yeah, it was insane. I was working during the day at my normal 9 to 5, but I had it on in the background, and both teams came out swinging. And I mean, 0907 and Godstack absolutely rolled. They were very impressive. And keep in mind, the 2 that we have tonight, Bobcats versus Tanuki and Short Post versus Snowfall, these are the last grand finals of the CGL season. So after today, MTT 14 wraps up, as we'll be entering MTT 15 closer to February.
Yeah, and I mean, you see that the second game there, Short Bus and YE Snowfall, that starts at 8 o'clock over on CGL2. So when it's 8 o'clock comes around, split screen your computer, watch both at the same time. There are going to be some incredible action going on in both games here. But Ray, I mean, when you look at these 2 teams, they are very, very good teams. However, I mean, why don't we actually introduce you to them here right now? First up here with the Bryant and Stanton Bobcats here. You have Manually and Peace on that DPS line, Pantera on the tank, Nenwai, the bringer of doom, and Proto on the support line here. I mean, Ray, we've been seeing this squad throughout this season, and every time we seem to talk about this NAPC Open Tier, or at least when I've been around, everyone always says that this is the team to beat.
Yeah, I'm sure you remember Nenwai's kind of been like a big time leader for that team. We interviewed them when they beat Nightmare Rotation in the winners finals, and they were all yelling at Peace when he was touching the card on Renasapi when they didn't want him to. So there's a lot of good vibes, and this is a top 6 collegiate program in the US, so they bring a lot to the tables. But now we're going to go ahead and pull up the Tanuki roster, which a lot of them come from the Siena Heights roster. We have Like Social, Arsones, Solozen, and Moncholo.
Yeah, and I mean, Ray, this is an incredible squad as well. A little bit of a deeper squad when you compare them to BSC here. I mean, they have a lot of subs, and we'll be seeing probably some come in through the night here, though. Arizona, though, I watched that lower bracket game against Nightmare Rotation. Arizona just absolutely took over the game at time. That DPS line and that support line doing everything they need to do, but Arizona was definitely the standout I had there against Nightmare Rotation as a whole. But I mean, like I said, this is just a squad, like you said as well. This is a team comprised mostly of Siena Heights, so basically 2 collegiate teams going against each other here. But when you look down the rosters here for both sides, a lot of them do have that OWCS experience with a lot of different teams.
One thing that's really interesting is Moncholo being on the support and Social was on the DPS. Social was playing support 2 nights ago, and they had Temp, who was playing Sojourn for most of the night against Nightmare Rotation. So they definitely have shuffled some things around for this. We're going to have to see how that plays into this matchup, as we do know where we are starting. BSC Bobcats had the map choice as the ones coming from the upper bracket. We are going to Lijiang Tower for map number 1.
And I mean, it's a great map to start on. I will always say it's probably the most scrimmed of any of the control maps. You can play a lot of different comps on it right now, and especially since, you know, even though we're a little bit over a week since the patch came out, its teams still feel like they're trying to figure out what is necessarily hard meta. We haven't had any big kind of competitions, nothing at the pro level. We've had, you know, Calling All Heroes and Face It, but still, they were still trying to figure it out. So I think we'll see a lot of variety, especially on this map, Ray.
And I'm very excited. I think, you know, Lijiang Tower, outside of Gardens, we all know it's known for its brawl capabilities. Even Garden will still give its brawl compositions, but that's where Dive can come into the table. The question is, what are these teams going to look to play? I mean, we have noticed at least when it comes to brawl, I think we've seen an uptick in Ramacha and Orisa, a little bit of a downtick of the Mauga, but when it comes to the Dive capabilities, big uptick in the Diva.
Yeah, and that's what Arizona was running for the most part against Nightmare Rotation. The Diva
Diva
just
and Sig, yep.
Yeah, caused so much problems for Nightmare Rotation. I would not be surprised if they just decide to start off on that here, but it looks like we're going to be going to Control Center first, and coming out of the gate, a Queen and Orisa. This is something I like to see.
Yeah, the Junker Queen is the Bobcat special. They love to run this Junker Queen composition, and you know, there's always 2 variants of it. There's like the Brig Juno that we're seeing from them, but there's also the Lucia Kirika, with Lucia Kirika's like go, get in their face. But I do prefer the Brig Juno for the extra sustain. Manually going over to that Sojourn adds that ability to get those railgun headshots, as Tanuki is going to go with the Mauga.
I don't necessarily hate the Mauga, but you just have to be very cautious of how you play it at the moment. Pantera does get the knife there, but you see how Tanuki's kind of playing it. They're playing it slow, which is something you don't normally see a lot here with the Mauga, but they're just trying to get control of this high ground before they eventually probably just charge onto point as it opens up.
Yeah, as we see the dive coming in, some low targets. Peace finds Moncholo, and Solozen's down.
You see Arizona fall as well. Peace finding a second one, but this fight all but over, and Peace with the 3K. Bobcats in control of the point.
I feel like a masterclass of positioning coming out from the Bobcats. They knew they didn't want to take that enclosed fight in the server room, but they gave themselves some space, took control of point, and it took Tanuki too long to get things going. Arizona is already making a swap over to the Orisa, and I think that's going to benefit them in the long run.
I think it will. Like you said, the Malga has kind of been falling out recently here. The Orisa coming back in, but right now, if you're Tanuki, you need to find something here, especially with how aggressively this Bobcats team is playing. Peace, though, trying to find Lich on the other side. Lich could be able to dash out here, but still, you're looking for any opening. If you're either side, but Arizona finds Nenwai out. That's a huge pick. A lot of healing sustained gone now for them as the two Genjis go off to fight each other in the side room. Lich, though, gonna fall there, but now you see the dive in here from Tanuki trying to get rid of Pantera, but you slowly see the Bobcats fall back here.
Yeah, and because of how much time they bought, Nenwai's going to be back, and now manually has the overclock.
Overclock out, the Orbital Ray coming out from Solozen, and look what that's going to do here. It's going to basically just negate this overclock from manually, and it's actually going to allow Tanuki to go straight on the point, getting rid of Proto here, who had their own Orbital Ray to go, but Bobcats, and now I'm going to give this point here, and now Peace in that backline already finds one, the blade out, so is that Terror Surge. One apiece on each side. Rally, though, going to be able to shut down Peace. Tanuki, though, does have the numbers, but that Orbital Ray from Proto is going to be able to flip the script here on this fight. Tanuki just trying to back out, not lose anyone else here, but Bobcats, they want to play aggressively.
Urisa's been isolated, Arsona's, but they're able to sustain just long enough to not have to die there. They're able to sustain.
Oh, and the Rampage hits 4 right there. Where's the follow-up, though, from the Bobcats? It's not going to be one. Solas and Monocholo do fall, so there's that follow-up you're looking for. Peace already with 3. Already their second one of this map, looking for the 4K, but it's going to be Manually, who just puts a railgun shot through the dome of Lich, and I don't think Tanuki's going to be able to get back in time.
No, that's no touches, and there wasn't follow-up during the actual anti-process, but they were low enough for Peace to then get those dash resets constantly and find those picks. Peace has been a rising DPS star in NA and is looking very good coming out of the gates in this series.
Yeah, I mean, Peace, it does say that their previous teams were Team Z and O3 Splash, two teams that are not to be slept on when you look at OWCS play and even face it as well. Two very strong teams, so you're starting to see why, like you said, they are a rising star here early on. But if you're Tanuki, I mean, you basically had that final fight last the final 60%. What do they need to do here?
I think initially coming out on the Malga didn't do them any favors, and it kind of almost like threw them for a loop and they had to readjust. I think coming out on the Orisa to begin with is going to put them in much better position going forward. And, you know, if they can, you know, just win the first team fight, they'll be in a lot better spot.
Yeah, that's exactly kind of what I think they need to do as well. Just they don't even need to necessarily win the first team fight. They just need to force Bobcats to fall back, whether that be finding a pick here early or just getting on point and just trying to just guard the point itself here. But you still see them trying to find anything they can. Bobcats going to just fall back to the point here as they do have the space. Tanuki, though, not necessarily going to let up easily here. Arizona, though, goes a little bit too far in and gets taken out by who else but Peace. And Tanuki just has to back up off that, but Peace, they are looking for blood already too. Solos then make it another 3K for Peace.
So one thing to say is Arsona's 2 days ago was fighting a fever and had been in the hospital, but they had themselves a Michael Jordan fever-esque game against Nightmare Rotation. Who knows if they're going to be able, if they're still sick, if they're going to be able to put performances like that back to back. And one of the big issues because of the sickness, they didn't have as many people in their VC and stuff like that. And to me, Arsona's pushed up a lot. The communication might not be there.
Yeah, and sidebar, I hope Arizona is doing a lot better now. They are here and playing now, so I hope that means they are feeling 100%. But right now, Tanuki, they need to get something going here, or they're going to slowly start to lose it on this map. A nice boop there from Nenwai. Not going to get the boop off the map as it is Genji, but Pantera will find Social, and now Pantera looking for a little bit more here. Just basically controlling this walkway. Down goes Solozen, and there you see the dive in from BSC Bobcats, and it's just going to be yet another cleanup crew for them.
Again, they're just very good at knowing their positions and knowing how to play to their win conditions. They're not over-aggressing, and that can also be one of the things that can bite Peace in the butt sometimes, is getting too aggressive, and he's been very much reeled in so far.
Orbital Rays coming out from both sides here, but right now you need to find some value if you're Tanuki. Blade, everything coming out from the Bobcats, but it's working out for them. Beat, not going to be able to keep Arizona and Lich up here, so if you're Tanuki, you might already be backing up because of that right there, and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. Mono Cholo, though, not going to be able to escape Tanuki. Looks like they're making some last-ditch effort swaps here, Ray.
Yeah, one last chance to be able to touch. They will have both the blade and the overclock, but Pantera's 10% away from that rampage, and getting a good anti can force aggressive positioning for this blade. And
Rampage does hit 3 right there. Cleanse 1. Social pops their own overclock, looking for anything they can. They do get a touch of force overtime, but Peace cleaning up yet again. Pantera gonna shut down Zolazen. Monotroll just gonna try to hold as long as he can. Lich coming back onto the point, popping the blade, but still they're just swiping at air, looking for anything they can. Proto gonna be able to shut down the Genji on the other side, and BSC just looking like they want to just clean up this map, and they're gonna do just that. A dominant team in the regular season, a dominant team in the playoffs, and starting off dominant here in the grand finals.
yeah, and one thing that's keeping me very curious is I don't know if they're like buying time for like Temp to get here, for example, but I really think they're missing Temp on that Sojourn, because Manuel's been doing an incredible job, and it's not like Social sitting here throwing in the lobby, but Temp was one of those players in that rotation game who was just constantly finding early pickoffs on that Sojourn, and that's one of the things they're missing in the series is just getting easy free kills on the Bobcats.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of what you want that Soj to be there for. They don't necessarily need to be finding the first pick, but they are going to be able to find picks throughout a fight if you give them the time, to give them the space. And Temp, like you said, I watched that same series as well. Same with Arsona. They were able to take over the map at points here, or the series at points. It's going to be really interesting to see how they kind of respond here in our second map. They do have the pick of the map and the mode here in Ray. I imagine you're seeing that message as well in our production chat here. Temp not going to be here today due to personal issues, so hope everything is all right with them. But Ray, knowing that now, what does Tanuki really need to swap up here or just change going into our second map? Don't know what it is yet though.
Oh, that's going to be a big loss. I don't know when they found this out, but like if it was one of those last minute things, because like I said, Tanuki was feeling really good about their chances against BSC, but I'm assuming that was with Temp in the lineup. And you know, that dominating effort from Bobcats on the first map, it's not boding a lot of confidence in my opinion. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's just a warm up, and sometimes, you know, first map just be a little silly map and teams just come back after that. But as I mentioned, Bobcats are a top 6 collegiate program for a reason. Siena Heights is a great program. I mean, they're also top 20, but the Bobcats have been on the rise this season, and it's because they got a great roster and they've been working together for, I believe, 2 seasons now, and they have looked great.
Yeah, and what a better way to cap off your fall season with the CGL championship. But a long time before we get to that, still have to win 3 more maps to get there, leaving a lot of time for Tanuki to come back here. But I mean, there were a couple fights that map that went back and forth, and they were just very scrappy, long team fights. We can go back to Control Center. Where basically it was from about 50% to 90%. We had a team fight just go back and forth. Each team got down to 3 players on each side, but it was really just the Orbital Ray from BSC that kept them in that fight as everyone started to fall there. I mean, there is signs for Tanuki that they can win fights still. It just, they're struggling at points to really clean up the kills. And like you said, this BSC Bobcats team, they're smart. They know when to back up. They know when to not over-aggress. But we've seen Peace already very early on. They like to play aggressively. They haven't been punished for it yet. I imagine at some point that's going to change.
Yeah, there was a couple of points on Control Center where they got the pick early and they couldn't follow up in the 4v5. BSC was able to buy their time, slowly back up, and allow time for their players to get back by the time the fight even took place on the point. That's something you can't let happen. If you get an early pick like that, you have to capitalize on it, and they just weren't. So that's something they could definitely improve upon and maybe look to win a couple of maps here and get back in this series.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely had some bright spots there in that map. It just, I mean, I cannot talk about how just good BSC played that one as a whole. I mean, like you said, they didn't over-aggress. Peace, even when they were being aggressively, still was able to find picks, so they got that dash back to get themselves out of some situations where if they didn't have it, they would have for sure died. I mean, it's just smart plays from this BSC squad, and it's really, really fun to see that here now. But Ray, we can finally stop speculating. I see that smile there. We know what the second map of our night will be, and Tanuki, they're bringing us to everyone's favorite push map of Runasapi.
It's just making me smile thinking about the interview we had with Nenwai with Runasapi, because I mean, literally the first question we asked him was, why did you guys think that putting the cart there was a longer distance? And they go, no, Manually was literally yelling at Peace to get off the cart, and he didn't. So, oh, that was just a really funny moment we had on Runasapi, because Nightmare Rotation almost came back on them on that map, and who knows where we'd be right now if that happened. But Runasapi, I do think it is like the clear cut, like, push map that everyone loves to go to nowadays. I still, the more time Overwatch and Blizzard has with these modes, the more creative, awesome versions of push they come out with. Like Esperanza was even better than their original two, and then this Runasapi was an even better version of Esperanza. So very excited to go here. As I mentioned, Bobcats did beat Nightmare Rotation on this map. And as Bullskunk has always said about push, and specifically Runasapi, is the map where no matter how much distance you have, it's never over. So many comebacks happen on this map.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just push in general, but this map itself seems to have a little bit more than the rest here. And I know we have one observer on this. I believe our other observer is potentially on these same statues. Nope, they're on the ones across from it. You can see the other two in the background there. But, I mean, this map is so fun because it's, I mean, everyone kind of pointed out almost immediately once it came out. It's just the same layout as New Queen Street, but the change they made on it makes it a lot more fun to play, in my opinion. But coming out of the gate, I mean, no big surprises here. BSC, I feel like they're basically just going to tell Tanuki, like, hey, we're going to run this until you can beat it. Tanuki, I think this is a good lineup for them. They just need to be able to win a team fight just to build some momentum and some confidence up early on here.
Yeah, this is one of the strongest compositions BSC has available to them. So it's like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They've only ever, differentiated away from this was during the hardcore Mauga meta, and, at points when we had Orisa metas as well.
Yeah, but coming to the gate here, both teams going to wait for that bot to open up, but you already see Tanuki trying to just get up there by the shrine or the monument just to try to build some space. But again, Peace, they love to play aggressively. They don't have that dash to get them out of here, though, but that deflect going to do just as well to get them back to the safety of their team. They're trying to get rid of Mono Cholo, though, but they're going to have to use a dash again to get back out. So each team being smart here. Peace, though, very low, going to be able to get healed up by the support line here. It's going to be back and forth here for the moment.
As they do have control of the cart, and the cart is moving, so if you're Tanuki, you got to rotate around and stop this from them getting free cart push.
And I mean, this is a great play here by the Bobcats. It forces Tanuki to do something because they were going to play very passively, and that's a spear being returned to Sendo. However, Pantera going to be taken out here early on. Solo Zendo for the side of Tanuki out as well, so you really only have the Brig supports, but hey, that's a pretty good support there if you can keep them alive. But you're starting to see this BSC Bobcats team find the players they need to get out, and they're still just kind of pushing this cart for free here as Tanuki's still dealing with the back line. Rally already?
As now the rally's going to come out, but they get Peace.
They get Peace, but I mean, you're giving up so much space right now. I understand that you have a little bit of a spawn advantage, but still, you're down kind of the majority of your team. You're slowly starting to see them coming, but now there's the rally from Nenwai, who wants to just make sure they get this bot back in their control. Tanuki, though, gonna steal it away, gonna be able to reset it and start pushing themselves here. So a very interesting start to this map so far, Ray.
Yeah, as we've completely reversed course. However, Spawner's Peace is low. They're going to be able to get heals to him.
Yeah, that shout there from Pantera gonna be able to help him out a lot as well as their supports healing them up. But you see those supports there for both sides. The Juno's about to have both of their orbital rays, and we saw them both come out last time they had them. Would not be surprised if that's the same case. Terror Surge out, orbital ray out from Proto and Solo Zen. Each team going at it, but Mono Cholo gonna be able to shut down Manually's overclock there, and now you have a great opportunity here if you're Tanuki. Mono Cholo with two here. Solo Zen gonna be taken out pretty early on here, but Mono Cholo going in. That is 3 for them right there, and they built up another rally.
Yeah, and Peace is still in the back lines with Proto, who's going to reset. Okay, they're going to reset, but because of how long those resets took, the lead will be gained from Tanuki. And again, that was an exchange of 2 ults for 2 ults for the side of both teams. So you're feeling pretty good right now if you're Tanuki.
And hey, this is really Tanuki's first team fight win here. I mean, that first one was kind of helter-skelter. It was all over the place. Now they win a team fight, take the lead. They have a rally here, which, I mean, if you use it right, can't stop a Rampage. However, Rampage out lands on to 3. The rally, it's not even gonna matter there. Social will find one, but Proto gonna be able to shut down the rest of the team. Tanuki gonna be able to have a small lead here, but the Bobcats looking to take it right back.
Yeah, that was all the ults they had in their back pocket, so Tanuki can look to re-engage. They'll have both their Blade and their Overclock with no defensive capabilities for the Bobcats whatsoever. The only thing they're hoping at this point is to at least gain the first checkpoint or at least match the meterage.
NY close to that rally, that could help him out here. Looks like they might get the lead, but no, the Blade out from Lich. They're looking around, gonna be able to slice through Proto. Now it's looking to keep themselves alive here, as they already basically did what they wanted to do with the Blade. Get rid of one, but you still have to deal with that other side manually on that off angle. Gonna be able to find solos, and now the rally coming out from Nenwai. They're already finding one there, and you're starting to see why they're very prevalent in the Calling All Heroes, or face our Calling All Heroes this past weekend. But now BSC takes the lead, get those forward spawns as well.
And again, they got the pick early with Lich on the Blade, but they weren't able to capitalize. Allowed Nenwai to get that rally, and they're able to clean up after that. That's another issue from Tanuki, peeking its head, not capitalizing when they get early picks.
Yeah, but it was so fast when that pick came through for BSC that it could have gone either way there still. But Tanuki, I mean, you have a little bit of an ult advantage right now. You're going to start off with the Overclock, looking for anyone they can, but everyone from BSC doing a good job just hiding around corners, using the geometry. Overclock coming out from the other side as well, manually just looking for anyone they can. And Tanuki can do the exact same thing. Everyone around corners not wanting to die out here. A Terror Surge coming out. This could be huge, and it finds 3. Arizona and Lich cleaning house. But the Bobcats have the lead here. Tanuki, though, should be able to reset.
Huge timing on that Terra Surge, Dex. I don't know if you saw that, but it was about a second or two away from that slide for the side of Manually. So if they would have waited any longer, Manually for sure would have gotten out of that. So very well played by Arsonis, but the close spawns coming through for the Bobcats.
Tanuki does have both their support ultimates here, but they're going to have to fall back. Already the rally coming out, and now that's going to force out the Orbital Ray from both sides here. Pantera, their own Rampage comes out, only hits on a 2, but those 2 members of Tanuki are dead and gone. The cleanup again here for the Bobcats, as it looks like Peace going to be the cleanup crew themselves. They're cleaning up that back line. Hey, the spawns might have been reset there for a moment, Ray, but they're going to be right back for the Bobcats.
Yeah, it's one of the big things that the Rampage provides, especially when you're going against a Juno, is basically an anti-orbital ray ultimate. So you can basically cancel out the healing power of the ray. Yes, the damage boost will still be there, but you can focus people down quickly with them not being able to be healed.
And Peace now, they have this Blade they could use here. There's really nothing on the other side that can really stop it. Peace already finding Social, gonna be slicing and dicing their way through that backline. There's 2 looking for the 3rd. Nenwai gonna take that one, but it's yet another Peace 3K. Arizona gonna try to take the bot away, but there's just too much pressure there for the Bobcats.
We do see Lich, who's gone over to the Mei. You know, especially with Peace constantly trying to dive the backline, the threat of the slowing and the freeze actually comes through pretty big. But they're facing Rally and Overclock. I mean, you'll have the Overclock to counter, but Nenwai has been amazing with these rallies.
And right now, you're just looking for anything here. If you're Tanuki, the rally out from Nenwai, Overclock out from Social, just looking for anyone they can, but they're really struggling at the moment. Icewall should help him out, but just gets it's just shot into the shield there. Overclock now out from Manually, who already finds the value. 1, gonna almost make it 2, does make it 2 right there, but yet again, it's another clean-up crew for the Bobcats, and they are home free. Map 2 goes over to them.
I will say that was a lot better on that map from the side of Tanuki. Feels like they're starting to warm up, get a little bit better. I really want to see how map 3 goes, because I think they're finally starting to follow up on each other. The only issue I've really seen is just they've never had Rally to match Rally with Nenwai. Basically, they've been able to use Orbital Ray by itself for the side of the Bobcats and get their team fight wins, because, you know, a lot of the time they can have Rampage to go with it. So that allows them to have Rally to use in their next fights for sustain, while the side of Tanuki uses both Rally and orbital ray together, and then they don't have that for subsequent fights after that. So I feel like if they can get that nailed down, maybe change up the comp a little bit. I don't know if matching the Junker Queen's the play, but I think they can turn this around.
I mean, we might have to see if matching the Drunk Queen is the play. But unlike, every other series this entire season, this is a best of 7, so first to 4. So they do have one more map. They want to experiment with playing the Junker Queen for the first part of it. If it's not working, go back over to the Orisa, which did find its value there. But it kind of feels like what we saw on the first map as well there for Tanuki. Once BSC got a little bit of a lead and some momentum going their way, they really struggled to kind of shut it down or just slow down that ball that was rolling for BSC. BSC, I mean, they've just, once they get something going, they are very, very hard to stop.
Top 6 collegiate program. I'm going to keep yelling that to the rooftops. Bobcats taking a nice, easy 2-0 lead. Haven't really had to sweat yet. We are going to take a quick break, give Tanuki some time to rebound, talk about how they want to change some things, and hopefully we'll see them come back in the series. We'll be back right after this.
2 maps down, and man, what a dominant 2 maps they were for the BSC Bobcats. Tanuki, though, in that second map did look a lot better than what we saw on map number 1. Ray, I feel like we kind of talked about during the break here a little bit. BSC looks incredibly strong, but Tanuki, they're slowly crawling their way back into this series here, but they have to stop crawling and start walking.
I agree. They've been taking baby steps, but we're gonna have to see some big adult steps and quickly. I feel like if you put yourself down in a 3-0 hole, I know we had a grand finals where there was a reverse sweep, but it's gonna be tough to do against a talented squad like BSC. Now we do have that map pick coming in from Tanuki. They're taking us to tried and true Kings Row.
I said it when we saw this come up during the break. When in doubt, Kings Row. And I mean, it's a lot like Liuzang Tower. You have scrimmed this map multiple times, called Scrims Row for a reason. It is the majority of the player base favorite map for a reason. And if you're Tanuki, why not go back to a map where you probably have the most experience on it as a team? But BSC Bobcats, probably the same exact thing. They've probably been scrimming this map like crazy as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see. But this is still very much known as a brawl map. However, there's a lot of other stuff we could see come out here. Do you think we're going to be seeing the exact same stuff we've been seeing so far?
I think from BSC, they're going to continue to play the Junker Queen. One comp I have seen happen a lot more on this map recently is Zarya. And Zarya could be an interesting counter to try and deal with the Junker Queen, who constantly needs that bleed uptime, so you can cleanse that away as a Zarya. But it looks like Tanuki is just going to match them on the Junker Queen. I know they're seeing, I don't want to be baited by the Kiri, but I've definitely seen Kiri Juno in this, and I don't think you're going to be able to do that against the Bobcats. I mean, the Bobcats are changing things up. I mean, Proto has played the Ana a little bit in this series, but Ana Brig is not normally what you see with the Junker Queen either.
No, and remember,
Maybe that's why they're on the Kiri.
Yeah, and this was something we kind of talked about going into break here. Maybe Tanuki needed to try to mirror the Queen here and just see what happens. And with having the Ana on the other side and the Kiri on your own, I feel like you put yourself in a little bit of a better spot. Well, I say that, but we still have to deal with the monster known as Peace at the moment. That DPS line, everyone getting their name in the kill feed. Nenwai looking for theirs, not going to be able to get it. Pantera will find the last 2.
Yeah, Proto is so good on this Ana, and their nade timing is absolutely impeccable. So if you're Tanuki and you're Moncholo, you have to be ready with that cleanse, or BSC is going to wipe you faster than you can blink.
Yeah, and again, if you're Tanuki, you're just looking for that one early pick here. Give yourself a little bit of an advantage early on and then go in after that. But right now, they're struggling to get to the choke point at the moment. They don't want to poke their head out too far because, you know, you don't want to be hit by the bio nade, you don't want to be pulled in, you don't want to be dived on here by Peace. It's a very strategic play that Tanuki's trying to do here.
As we see Social trying to take this off angle here, I think the smart thing, find your picks, do not allow them to get into your face, try and find these railgun shots, but BSC is just so good with the positioning.
And Peace, again, going to be able to find one out here, though. Will you be able to trade out Nenwai? However, you might be able to get that pick, but the rest of your team is dying around you. Moncholo will find manually here, but how much can they really do on their own? Not much, as Peace finds them, and Pantera going to be able to take out their counterpart on the other side.
Yeah, with Pantera and Moncholo going down, you know, when they did, it allows Social to get back. So you're not going to have the opportunity to try and regroup quickly and take a 5v4. That's just not going to happen, as we can see Social's already back. Oh, big nade!
Big nade right there, but you see the cleanse come out and hit, you know, the majority of the people hit. However, they're just going to slow wait here, but there's the Rampage, lands on the 3 solos and going to be taken out by Pantera and Social as well. So now if you're Tanuki, you need to find one. You're finding Pantera out would be huge, but the knife going to be what takes them out and sends them backwards about 5 feet.
That was a beautifully well-coordinated play, Dex. They used the nade to force out the cleanse from Moncholo in order to get a massive rampage, and boy did Pantera find it and find those kills.
And look at what BSC has here. Look at what Tanuki has here. This could be a heavily invested ult fight by both sides. If you're Tanuki, I mean, you might just be trying to bait out a couple ultimates from BSC and say, okay, you can have this fight and then we'll come in next one. But you're just looking for anything at the moment. You need to get going. The time bank really no longer on your side. You have 4 ultimates as well, but there's a Bionade onto 2. Not going to find either one though just yet.
It does force positioning away as Peace is just poking, and Arsona is not allowing to have space. Kitsune rush and overclock.
Nano rally out, everything coming out here. 3 ultimates out from the side of Tanuki. Arsona will find one, but a huge Bionade on the other side. But there you see Tanuki coming alive. 4 members down, Proto, the last one left alive. Lich might have had a chance at them, but they get put to sleep for a moment. They're going to be antied as well. However, they should be able to find Proto out here eventually.
With how long that took, oh, Proto going down. Yeah, that, I
More
was
people
gonna say that's gonna allow them to possibly retouch if they want. Maybe they feel bold with the blade. I don't know.
They're going to touch. There's the blade, but Ari's going to respond with a rampage of their own. Going to be able to find one. Lich pops their own blade here. That point ticking up, and BSC just going to give it over to them. Peace, though, going to be taken out by Lich, and now the cleanup is here for Tanuki. And hey, the deflect kill there, finding Nenwai. And finally, Tanuki can get something going here, but Ray, that was a little bit too close for comfort.
I think if you're the Bobcats, though, you forced out every single ultimate out of Tanuki, so you're re-engaged with your blade, got out the rampage and Lich's blade. So all things considered, I think you're going to take that if you're the Bobcats, because Pantera, look, I mean, 70% to this rampage. They'll have that big advantage coming to the next fight.
Yeah, they'll have the big advantage, but I mean, when you look past Pantera, the ultimates are pretty much even across the board. Hell, maybe Tanuki has a little bit of an advantage here at the moment. Lich, though, gonna get very low, has to fall back, but I mean, manually still gonna be able to take him out there. This has been kind of the story of every fight so far. Tanuki just goes a little bit too aggressive and just gets taken out because of it, and now they're gonna all just kind of fall by the wayside.
Oh, big knife, and they find Social. Pantera absolutely running this Korean import, showing just why they brought Pantera into this roster.
And look, this is something we talked about in map 1. BSC, they like to play aggressively. They know when to back out, though. Peace not even allows Solos them to get back to the safety of their own spawn. Yeah, they might have been stopped by the invisible wall, but those shurikens still go through it.
A minute and 10 left on the clock for Tanuki. Pantera still has the rampage, and their BC's gonna have both their, I mean, they're gonna have all 5 of their ults. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, but look at this. Tanuki able just to escape through the other way. Gonna be able to get back to the car. Kitsune Rush coming out from Monchola now as Tanuki wants to get something going, but there's the rampage. Lands on to 3. The Suzu not gonna be able to keep Lich or Social alive there. Arizona, though, will be able to find one, but is there gonna be any more follow-up here from Tanuki? Yeah, Solo Zen finds one, but still, you see the rest of their team fall around them, and now, honestly, if you're Solo Zen, I would have been backing out there, but they decided to go in.
And just look at the ult commit. Tanuki used both their Kitsune Rush and their overclock in that fight. BSC only used their rampage. So 4 ults for Bobcats to continue to defend. And this is going to be Tanuki's last fight to try and get more distance on this cart.
You have an Orbital Ray, you have a Blade coming up, and if Arsona can build up to a Rampage, it'll help them out a lot. But right now, if you're Sullivan, yeah, you have to respond with that of your own. The Blade out from Peace, but you lose Pantera here early. This is what you've been looking for if you're Tanuki. An early start, but Peace says, yeah, you can have the one. I'll find 2 myself. The overclock coming out from manually as they want to end this round here and now, and they are going to be able to stonewall Tanuki 80 or 58 meters in to that first or second point push.
Yeah, that's a very early spot in the second point push. It's essentially the bookstore corner. The second point stops tend to be at the very end as you're capping second point. Puts Bobcats in a great position to go up 3-0 and put themselves on series clinching point. Can't afford to relax, though. Tanuki has shown some light in these last couple of maps. But as long as Bobcats continue to play the way they've been playing it, their positioning, their set plays with those nades, they are looking almost unstoppable.
Yeah, they are at this point. I mean, it's been very difficult for Tanuki to find a lot of value very early on, at least. Even with, I mean, they found the first pick there onto Pantera, which is normally a great player to get out the tank from the other side. But then you just see BSC come right back in. Yeah, the Blade had the support there of that Orbital Ray and Peace. They have been known to just pop off at a moment's notice so far this entire series. But if you're Tanuki, look, Arsona is still kind of struggling to figure out what support they're gonna what tank they're gonna come out with here, and time's kind of running out on them.
As for the side of the Bobcats, it's no surprise that they got Nenwai going over the Mercy. You know, Bringer of Doom decides to go over to the Mercy for a second. Hey, I hope they do it, man. Sometimes Nenwai can get pretty silly when they're feeling themselves, so you never know. They did tell our producer, you know, they weren't looking to be silly and just ending this quickly. Yeah, and it looks like they're going to do that.
And Arizona, I mean, they picked very late there. I mean, if you're Bobcats, if you play fast, Arizona will just be getting into the fight as it's halfway over at this point. And now if you're Montrolo, you're going to be able to escape with the Swift Step there, but you're still just looking for any little kind of help here at the moment. But you have no Swift Step this time. You only have the Zuzu, the Disrupting Shot. They're going to be able to find Peace, so that's a huge get early here for Tanuki. However, you look at the Bobcats, already set up on point.
Yeah, it's a massive disruptor shot. And are they really going to get 2 ticks for free when they're down 1? They do. That is insane. Inside of the Bobcats.
2 ticks are free, and they're down 2, and yeah, now they're eventually going to back up here. I mean, if you're Tanuki, that was a very just interesting fight to take there. I mean, yeah, you got rid of 1, but you gave up 2 ticks. It's kind of a head scratcher.
Yeah, all you had to do was have someone touch the point, and you would have been a good spot. And now Moncholo's down.
Moncholo's down, and you never killed Pantera. They were just sitting there in that back line, and I don't know about you, Ray, but if you can leave a queen alone, they are going to be very, very deadly. Manly will find Arizona, but Social going to be able to find 1, but there's already the point cap. 5 minutes for BSC to get it 58 meters.
Yeah, this is looking rough, and BSC is coming up slowly on a lot of these key ultimates. Peace, who's been deadly with his blade, is going to have that for this next fight, and that might just be the kiss of death.
It might just be, especially with Proto not that far away from an Orbital as well. Tanuki, I mean, yeah, they're going to have some of their ultimates of their own as well, but it's going to be kind of like what we saw when Tanuki was capping point 1. They have to use all of them at this point. And Bobcats, they can use 1, they could use 2, and just kind of win the fight off that. You see Peace just kind of getting set up for it. Kitsune Rush out from Moncholo here. Peace pops the blade, but no one taken out just yet. Manly will find 1 with their own disrupting shot, but now you see the rest of Bobcats come in. Overclocks out from each side. There's an Orbital Ray from Tanuki as they look for anything, and hey, Tanuki starting to come back this one, but will the late Orbital Ray from Proto be a difference maker here? And it looks like early on it's gonna be Rampage out there from Pantera, gonna be able to find 1, and it's all up to Arizona right there. They will fall. Not even a minute needed for the Bobcats there after capping point 1. And they are on championship point.
Yeah, the Bobcats have come into this series and are not messing around whatsoever. They want to wrap this up quickly, wrap this up early. All their finals, I'm pretty sure, are done, and they just want to be able to go home and celebrate their vacation and just enjoy their holidays.
It wouldn't surprise me if they were already home celebrating their holidays here already. But I mean, adding on a championship here would be a little bit sweeter. And like I said, it would be a great way to cap off their fall season before they look to come back strong in the spring collegiate season as well. But I mean, it's just been a dominant series so far for this Bobcats squad. Tanuki at points, they've looked good, they've been able to win fights, but it's just like we kind of said, they've been slowly crawling so far. They need to start making those, big steps and start sprinting here very, very quickly. But staring down the barrel of 3-0, we have seen it done already once, Ray, this finals or this playoffs. Do you think it could potentially happen again here?
I'm going to be frank. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm like the BSC stan here. I have been on Twitter. I've been their champion trying to get them higher and higher up the ranks. Every time they weren't high enough, I was voicing my opinion on Twitter to the Overwatch college ranking people. And they did finally hit number 5 eventually before dropping to 6 as the final rankings of the year. But I know just how good they are. I saw them for the first time in CGL at the beginning of this year. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're going to be great. So it will not surprise me. I think this is going to be a 4-0. We do have what might be our final map chosen. We are going to go to silly clash mode as we get to go see Hanaoka.
I don't hate Clash as a pick anymore, especially because like.
Oh,
what
you've come around to
No,
me
no.
and Soav's side on this?
No, I still hate the mode. But I don't hate it as a pick in setting like this because there's probably a lot of people out there who are like me who do not like Clash, so they don't play it, they don't scrim it, and that's kind of what Tanuki is hoping for here. Probably that BSC doesn't do this, but knowing BSC and the type of team that they are, like you said, should probably be top 5, maybe even a little bit higher than 5 of all the collegiate teams in the nation.
No, I thought 5 was appropriate. I'm going to be honest. I thought 5 was appropriate for that. They did put UCI above them at the end, but I'm like, they just beat UCI and NECC. That was my only gripe with that. But the thing is, though, I've casted BSC in NECC before, and they did this to UCI. They took UCI to Throne of Anubis, and they literally put in the chat after, haha, took them to silly map mode and we won. Like, they love doing this, so they are no strangers to Clash at all.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like I was going to say, if you're a team like this, you have probably scrimmed this map. You've probably scrimmed, I don't even remember the name of the other Clash map.
Throne of Anubis.
Yep, Throne of Anubis, thank you. You've probably scrimmed both those maps a ton here. So, I mean, if you're Tanuki, you're throwing this out there hoping that maybe you have a slight advantage, but coming out of the gate, Arizona hovering the Rhine. I mean, Ray, what do you think of that?
I think matching up against a Junker Queen, it's quite rough, mostly because that Carnage can slice right through that Rhine shield. But I like the combination to pair it with Lich on the Mei, and if they're going to play the Mei, I'm not sure. It does look like it. It's also on the Cassidy. So look, they have a lot of utility to be able to slow down and deal with peace on this Genji, and that might be their plan.
I mean, slowing down Peace is one thing, but it's slowing down the rest of this Bobcats team. I mean, we've seen Pantera, we've seen Manually, hell, we've seen this support line also pop off, finding a lot of picks here. If you slow down one, you still have to deal with 4 others here. Tanuki, though, Solozan almost gets taken out there early. Montrolo almost out as well, and Montrolo's gonna get booped off the map. Not the start you were looking for here, and Lich almost gets booped off the map as well here. I believe Tanuki has now swapped spawns here, but, well.
I thought Arsonis had someone with them, but nope, that was just Nenwai skillfully dodging, getting him off the edge. Peace goes down for their trouble. Doesn't matter. Everyone's resetting for Tanuki as we head to the next capture point. Bobcats continuing their dominating effort after the first 3 maps.
And already one swap coming out from Tanuki.
Yep.
Arizona going back over to the Orisa. I think that is a little bit better for them here. A little bit more survivability than what the
Peace
Rhine.
is on the Echo now. That's very interesting. A lot of burst damage potential.
And again, it's kind of the first time we've actually seen Peace swap off that Genji this entire series, and they already find one, going to be able to get themselves back up. Social, though, going to be able to shut down Pantera. That's a huge pick off here early for Tanuki. They seem to find one more to really help them out here in this fight, but Arizona going to get beamed down manually. Going to put that railgun shot through Montrolo. And now, again, you see Tanuki trying to back out, but the Bobcats, I mean, hell, the point is open. They're just going for kills at this point.
Yeah, they're playing May Cassidy, and I think the reason why Peace feels so emboldened to play the Echo is there's no Sojourn. I saw in the Godstack game earlier, the 0907 game, I'm sorry, earlier with Yuri Mirai. Their Echo was getting ran by the Sojourn. The Sojourn is so threatening to Echo.
Overclocked out from Manly, one down. The Orbital right out from the other side as well. Nenwai gonna pop the beat, not gonna go on to Manly here, but the kills are still going the way of the Bobcats. Arizona trying to do their best, but their teammates and themselves have all fallen by the wayside. Lich does have a blizzard they could use here, but probably not the smartest thing to do. And yeah, they'll just take sticky nades, and we'll be heading to point E. And Ray, with how strong the Bobcats are playing so far this map, this could be it.
Yeah, they're going to have an Orbital Ray to work with. Tanuki doesn't have one either. They're relying heavily on getting massive value out of this blizzard from Lich.
And right now, I mean, a blizzard needs to be something that helps them here early on, allows them the time to build up that beat from Montrolo. But Nenwai gonna fall out early, and if you're the Bobcats, I mean, I would just kind of fall back out that. You don't have that speed to get in and out, and it looks like that's exactly what's gonna happen, at least for the first part of this point.
Yeah, because they're going to have the ability to re-engage with this Orbital Ray if they so choose to do so, and it looks like they are.
Yep, they're not gonna be able
you
to.
can't without Proto.
And look, Proto dies, and you see basically everyone on the Bobcats just turn around and say, no, we don't want to be a part of this anymore. Hey, they find Manly, but Montrolo dies to Peace. Not the way you were looking for. You do find Nenwai out as well, who decided to go a little bit of Reddit Lucio and get in that backline. Peace. No, don't do this.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh, okay. He gets punished, rightfully so. Sorry, Peace. That was a little too much there, buddy. I'm not a fan of that one.
And I mean, because of these kind of plays coming out from the Bobcats here, Tanuki going to be able to probably cap up point D for free, and we're getting headed back to point C. And I mean, both teams are going to have a lot of ultimates here, but no,
Fast.
Bobcats want to come in. The Blizzard, though, out Pantera cannot run fast enough, and that's a little bit of overkill there from Arizona. The beat coming out from Montrolo. Going to be able to keep everyone alive, but that dupe out from Peace onto the rest of their own. They just need to kind of force Peace off the point here, and Tanuki could have had it, but they got off and allowed allowed Bobcats to take some percentage back. You're going to lose Arizona, and the Bobcats, even losing their tank early on, still very much in this fight here.
I mean, you kind of are, but you kind of aren't. Oh, the Rampage might turn that around.
The Orbital Ray coming up from Solo Zen is a little bit of a mistake there. I understand you do have Arizona back in, but
Oh, they
Lich
get
finds
this.
two. They get it
Doom.
somehow.
The Doom coming back just in time to save the day. Wow, they're able to cap the second point. We head back to point C, and that was an expensive fight for the Bobcats. So Social going to have the overclock. Light can use the Blizzard. The only thing you're going to have for the Bobcats is the defensive capabilities that the sound barrier provides.
I mean, Tanuki, they have just given themselves another kind of breath of life in this series here, but they need to get this point C, in my opinion, to really help them out a lot. Bobcats, though, already set up on point, 50% and counting, and Tanuki hasn't even gone in. Manly gonna be able to find one, but that overclock from Social gonna be able to shut down Nenwai. Social looking for anyone else they can. They find Pantera out, but someone needs to touch if you're Tanuki. You find it there, getting rid of Proto. That percentage is gonna go away, but Manually still alive, gonna be able to find one.
Yeah, and with only two people capping the point, that opens the door for the Bobcats to look to try and come back and retouch, re-engage. But their spawners just came in. Do they want to be so bold? They do.
I mean, yeah, I would not be. If I'm the Bobcats, yeah, be bold. This is how you've been playing this entire series. You have very rarely been punished so far, and now Tanuki, they have some tools to punish you with. The Blizzard coming out from Lich. Is it going to be able to freeze up Pantera again? Yes, it does. Going to be able to get rid of them early on, and that's exactly who you want to be getting rid of. Almost, though, getting taken out is Lich, but now you still see the Bobcats looking for more. Montrolo going to be able to find their counterpart on the other side, and I mean, Tanuki, they're looking to clean up this fight here already. The Bobcats smartly backing out.
Yeah, these Blizzards from Lich have been absolutely crucial. I think the May swap is finally showing its bearing its fangs, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And they're going to have both their support ultimates coming to this next point. Bobcats got to rely on Manually and Peace to come through with these two DPS ultimates.
Arizona has also kind of stepped up as well on this Orisa, just being able to hit a lot more spears than what we saw in the first couple points.
Yeah.
They've been so big in how they've played so far. The overclock coming out here from Manly, Orbital Ray from Solazen. Proto gonna respond with one of their own. Manly looking for anyone they can. Rally out from Montrolo. The Terror Surge gonna be able to shut down the overclock. The Blade, though, from Peace, it's gonna go quiet this time. That Blade has been dulled. And Tanuki, after going down 2-0, is now 1 point away from forcing a map 5.
Wow, Tanuki has come up with the goods. That was a 3 ult for 3 ult exchange in that fight, as we'll have Blizzard and Overclock going up against Rally and Rampage from the side of the Bobcats. I think the Bobcats will probably win this next point, and then it's going to be about Tanuki. I think I would just try and force ult out, don't use any, and allow the Bobcats to have this next point.
I was going to ask that question. If you're at Tanuki here, do you even try to go in to this one and try to even get the one tick you need? Because remember, it's only one tick here. You want to try to get out some ultimates here. Peace, though, gets trapped by that wall. The shell can be able to keep him alive. There's one, though. Tanuki, they want to play into this one here. The overclock from Social needs to be able to find some value, but Peace going to be able to shut down Moncholo. No rally even near for them there, and it looks like Tanuki's going to give up the point. They didn't even use... They used one ultimate, but they actually did force out the rally from the other side.
Yeah, they did. They did force out an NY's rally, so you at least got that. You don't have to deal with the rally. You still have to face this Rampage, which could be enough just to win this next point alone. I don't know. This is coming down to the wire.
Lich, though, has that Blizzard ready to
Yeah,
go.
the Blizzard.
That's been something that's won them fights in the past, and winning it here would be huge, because like we said, it probably forces a map 5. Tanuki gave me the first ones on the point here, about I would say a fifth of the percentage of the way there. There's a quarter right there, but you see the ultimates coming online. Tanuki, they're gonna go fast. They want to force those ultimates out for the Bobcats. The Rampage only hits on to 2, but hey, they clean up those 2. Terror Surge gonna be able to shut down Pantera, but manually comes right back and finds Ari, Sona. Now though, Tanuki, they use all 3 ultimates they had. They're still holding on to the Blizzard, but the Bobcats, they're in prime control.
Oh, that was bad. They used their Terra Surge, their Rally, and their Orbital Ray, and the Bobcats only used their Rampage, as now Pantera has swapped over to the Mauga, as Ursonas is staying on the Orisa, so they have to hope that Lich once again can come through with the Blizzard, but I think they're aware of this, so they have the capabilities of Pantera on the Mauga, who can get away with the overrun.
But if you're the Bobcats, what do you do here? Do you wait for Tanuki to make a move, or do you go first? You've been the stronger team and the more aggressive team all night long. There's the Blizzard, but I don't think it's going to catch anyone. It got what it was looking for there. The overclock from Manually. Going to be able to force Tanuki off the point for a little bit longer here. Social has a bit of their own overclock as well, but Lich going to be able to find one. The Orbital Ray out, the Blade now, and you're in tight quarters right now. Already finding one. Down goes 2 right after Social pops the Terror Surge. Peace with 3. Make it 4. Will he be able to find one more? No. Pantera shuts it down. It's a rally to rally around the victory here for the BSC Bobcats. So they're your season 14 NAPC Grand Champions.
Whew, what a final map, as that got really interesting. But I think that swap to Mauga, knowing the Blizzard was online, was so smart. And they used the overrun, and I knew, I was like, as soon as that overrun lets up, you gotta be able to Blizzard him. But they did a great job of just being able to drop off of the high ground and completely avoid it.
Yeah, I mean, they did exactly what they needed to do there. You see the series stat line here, a dominant showing for the Bobcats. Tanuki, though, they made this final map very interesting. And Ray, I mean, if Tanuki would have won it, I would have said you have to take each map one step at a time, 1 foot after another. We could have seen something there. Tanuki looked like their best selves in that final map, but the Bobcats, when it came time to, they locked in to make sure it would be a sweep.
Yeah, it would have been really tough, because every map from then on out would have been BSC's map pick, so they could have just taken them wherever they pleased to their favorite maps, most practice maps. But Bobcats able to slam the door in Tanuki's face and take away any chance that they were hoping. Unfortunately, they were undermanned. They didn't have temp. Sounds like he had to get, based on the chat I was reading, had like a last-minute family vacation they had to go on. So very unfortunate. But even with temp, it was still going to be a tough road to try and beat the Bobcats. But that would have definitely been a better series with temp in there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's only an if there. We might have been seeing the same result, maybe a little bit closer, but still an incredible run here for Tanuki. They had an incredible lower bracket run. I mean, they were in the lower bracket too. Beat Arise, beat Beagle Bus, beat Nightmare Rotation. 3 incredibly strong teams. They went up against the team that everyone was saying was the best throughout the season, and man, did they show it why here tonight. But hey, Ray, we're going to throw it to a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking with Peace from BSC Bobcats. Everyone stick around. All right, welcome back, everybody. Do we have a treat for you? Not only are we joined by Peace, but we're also joined by Pantera and Nenwai here from your champions, the BSC Bobcats. Guys, congratulations on the victory. I have to imagine this is a great way to cap off the fall season for y'all.
Yeah, we just finished our schooling too, or at least I did. Well, I was a little couple days late, and this is a really good way to end off our semester.
Yeah, just finishing up one last tournament as a team before we take a big break from each other, and we get some money. It's really fun. Pantera got
Yeah, we're
nothing.
just gonna leave the floor open if anyone else wanted to talk. But
I go next.
I mean, I've been kind of your guys' biggest backers on Twitter. I've been defending you guys' rankings as you guys have moved up all season long. And I think you guys have been like the biggest risers in collegiate. You know, you guys started off kind of, in like closer to the 10, 12 rank, and now you end the season at 6, and now you cap it off with the CGL victory. How do you guys feel like this semester has gone, and how much you guys are getting better as a team? And what do you guys look forward to the most coming into the spring semester?
Let me say that. I think for me, I really like how my teammates have improved. Like I think specifically my tank over here. I feel like a lot of people didn't know Pantera's name before like collegiate, and now I've heard like people actually talk about Pantera, and I've been vouching Pantera to like all of my like friends and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that guy's actually like he looks pretty solid and good. And it's been one of my biggest like happy points, I guess, like seeing my teammates like improve and get better and get better opportunities. It makes me really happy to know that like by enabling my team that they get not saying like without me or something like that, but enabling my teammates allows them to look better, which makes them get better opportunities, and they get to fully get to be the player they deserve to be.
Oh my god, let's go Pantera! I think no, like definitely like next semester, bro. Like I'm definitely looking to definitely get above ending 6th. Like I think we can do it. Like I definitely think we can end 4th or 5th at least. Like I'm definitely looking to lands, meet up with everyone. That would be so fun. Well, you know
Yeah,
why?
I hope to
think
see you
it-
guys there too. The CECC land is always big time, and I'm there every year, so it'll be cool to see some of you guys in person. And this match specifically, we know they were down temp, and I had talked to them after their victory against Nightmare Rotation, and they were feeling good about their chances. I'm not sure they were expecting to miss temp today. I think given it was a 4-0, you guys probably still would have won anyway. But how much of a difference do you think temp would have been in that matchup?
A lot
I
more.
think.
But
Yeah, I think it would. I kind of forgot it was 4-0 as well, but I was predicting like a 3-1, like but one of those like really close 3-1s. But I also do rate Temp pretty highly. I think Temp and Lich are probably like their best players by far. I especially Lich on the main. That guy's literally Chime Junior. And then I think Temp
That's
is
great.
really good at hitting his shots. No, it's real. That guy's good at May.
Crazy place for Chime.
Crazy ways.
That guy's good at May. Okay, but for real, I think the DPS are like probably their best attributes, which makes it really bad when you lose a core of your like a good chunk of your team pressure like that. Like scrimming against this team and also playing against them in OWCS and stuff, like Temp does add a lot to that team. Not even like trying to downplay the other members, but Temp just does a lot. So when you lose a core player like that in any team, it hurts a lot. So
I don't think it
yeah.
helps that it was off rolling on DPS too. Like maybe it was like a different DPS player, it wouldn't have been like as bad.
Yeah, I
for
thought
them,
the same
but,
thing when I saw social on the DPS. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like unfortunate for them, but gotta play when the matches. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was an incredible season for you guys. Only really one blemish, which I mean came, I believe, very early on in the season, and it was one where you guys had to forfeit it here. But I mean, when you guys came in to CGL here, did you guys look at it and say, we can run the table here, we can go up against any of these teams and easily handle ourselves here and win this entire thing? Or did you guys at some point in the middle of the season realize like we could win this? When was that moment where you guys knew you could be the champions?
Mm,
Ooh, okay.
you can go on.
I came in and knowing, bro.
So starting out the tournament, we didn't really know all too much. We were just like, Pantera brought up the idea of joining the tournament, like just to play as a team more, which is like all fun, chill. To be honest, I don't think we ever really came in too scared of any teams, but I also don't know how much of us actually paid attention to that until like we started getting more into it and involved. But towards like when bracket came up, really the scariest team for us was YFP, and they just dropped out. But
Yeah.
I think even then we were so confident about being YFP.
I was gonna say it. That was actually probably the scariest team because I know they actually are like they play a lot. They're really good. They have like, really good placings, and they're not like a punch up team, more like Tanuki is. I think Tanuki does get like a lot of flack, but they are a really good like punch up team, just because they're just like still pretty new to the scene and they're all improving really better. But I do think YFP has like a sustained core that's like a pretty consistent core of people. I think it was a little more scary, but since they dropped out, and I mean, I know usually CGL gets like big flack for like not being hard, but this is probably like one of the like this is a pretty hard CGL for everyone. I can't lie. There's a lot of like a lot of MF5s, a lot of like 3-1s, and I think But just for us, we're just built different. That's okay.
Out of curiosity,
Love
before
the
we get to the
confidence.
shout outs part, I had one more question pop into my head. I mean, do you guys plan to continue doing CGL going forward? And also, what do you guys think about the GOATS tournament? Are you guys going to look to try and do that during your break?
For me personally, I needed this after my very scary schooling situation. I think I'm gonna just chill, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually it was really tough for me because this is my first year doing school, and it was my first semester. So I just gotta like take a good break from the games unless it's like ranked, and I want to focus on being ready for the BCS in January. I mean, I don't know when the next CGL is. I know it's usually like almost like a 5 to 6 month break all the time. Maybe
It'll be in like February-ish.
Jeez. I mean, maybe we'll see. Cause I know there's gonna be OWCs going on. There's a lot. Like I'm gonna be playing a lot with O3. Shout out my main team. But
Yeah, we'll see. I think we had some scheduling issues this semester, or that, like whatever season definitely. So we might not do it. We might do it. I don't know. We'll see. I guess.
I mean, it was definitely fun. So if the schedule allows, I wouldn't even be like super against it. But we'll see.
Well, guys, we want to thank you all for coming in and doing this interview. But before we let you all go and celebrate this victory and champions as a team here, we want to give you the floor to shout out anyone or anything y'all want.
Shout out.
Out of the Bobcats.
Shout out Raylini, Chimenzi, and Maeve.
Oh yeah.
All coaching. That's mostly Ray.
Wow. Just gotta have the avidity bias.
You want to disagree with me?
It was mostly Ray. I do want to shout out Ray. I want to shout out my main team again. They're the people who molded me into the player I am, and they helped me a lot. And I mean, shout out the Bobcats, specifically Proto and Manually for being teammates on my past teams, and they were like, "Yo, you should come play collegiate with us. We really want you." And I was like, "All right, I'm fine with that."
Can I just say neither you shouted out Blitz. Neither you shouted out Blitz. All I'm gonna say, guys.
You didn't shout out Blitz either.
I did my turn yet. What are you talking about?
well, then you can shout out Blitz.
I just did. Shout out Blitz, bro.
All right, shout out Blitz for like helping us manage the team as well. Very underrated job. And then I think I have one more.
Oh yeah.
Shout out.
I forgot.
No, I didn't forget. I forgot. Whatever. But Terry can get his turn.
Yeah. Shout out Blitz, obviously. Shout out everyone on the team, bro. I couldn't have played without you. And then shout out my mom, actually.
There we go. That was the one I was looking for. Someone to shout out one of their parents.
Alright, because my parents. Okay, well, I would shout out my parents if they messed with me doing stuff like this. Actually, they kind of do. You know, you're actually right. Shout out my mom and my dad because they actually deal with me screaming at like 8 p.m. They deal with me playing the game, and I had to tell them. They deal with me like trying to tell them and explain all this Overwatch stuff to them. That sounds like a bunch of like nonsense. I understand from their POV, you know, like especially like I come from like a Hispanic household, so like video games for money, so you know, like they don't really get it. and they try to like help explain to my like relatives and stuff too that it's not just like something I do for fun. Like I won't splurge on it too much. So, but shout out to them too.
All right. Hey, thank you all so much for coming in, taking some time out of your night to do this interview. We will let you go and celebrate your victory as a team. Again, everyone, that was Nenwai, Peace, and Pantera from your NAPC Open Tier Grand Champions BSC Bobcats. Y'all, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, Ray. I mean, it was a great season here for us at CGL, especially in this NAPC Open tier. A lot of great competition, but BSC just stood above the rest. But I mean, we can pull up our schedule here. It has been nothing but 4-0s today in our final day of the season. But there is still one more grand final going on right now. Short Bus and YE Snowfall. And Ray, both me and you talked about, both me and you think that is going to be an incredible series.
Yeah, they played each other in the winners finals and it went 3-2-5 Matt Banger. It was so close. So that could be one of our more competitive grand finals we have all year. So make sure once this concludes, you go over and you go click. I mean, if you don't already have it dual screen, you go click on the CGL to get those CGL tokens and go watch a great game that's going to be on there. Before we look to conclude and end for the night and for the season for me and Dex, we do want to remind you guys once again, we talked about it in our interview, but starting in January, starting on the 4th, we have our GOATS tournament, round robin stage 4th and the 5th, and then the bracket stage on the 11th and 12th, console and PC, as well as NAEU and the new South America regions. 2250 prize pool and signups are now live. So make sure to get your 6 players together, get yourself signed up, and try and win some money.
Yeah, and like you said, this is one of the best events that goes on every year for us. We do it 2 times a year because it is just that popular. And like you also said earlier on in the stream, you never know who you go up against. You might be going up against a team like a Tanuki, a team like BSC Bobcats. Hell, you might be going up against some OWCS players as well, playing in their favorite mode, the 6v6 GOATs. Remember, you can sign up, like Ray said, it is open now. Get your teams in. It is always a fun time. But Ray, it was an incredible season for both me and you here, and especially everyone in CGL. But this bracket itself, I mean, it was crazy. It was convoluted. We saw some teams make great runs. We saw some teams maybe leave a little bit earlier than expected, but that is what this NAPC Open tier is all about.
Yeah, congratulations to the BSC Bobcats, your NAPC Open tier champions. With that, that's going to pretty much wrap up me and Dex for the season. I'm sure both of us will be back for the GOATS tournament, and of course, we'll be back for MTTT 15. Make sure to go check out the stream on CGL2. And before we go, shout outs to everyone on our prod team, all of our casters, all of our desk people from SNO, all of our observers, all of our producers. I think this was one of the most successful, best seasons prod and product wise we gave you guys of CGL. And I'm very proud to head up the stream team with Hippie, our producer. And shout outs to all of you guys for watching. I feel like the amount of people we've had continually watching our matches has only gone up this season, and the chats have been as lively as ever. So thank you all for watching. Make sure to go check out CGL2 for Short Bus versus YE Snowfall. And with me and Dex, we'll see you guys at the next broadcast.